was trudging wearily through the village on the way back to the manor. After a most wretched day at the monastic school, weariness was etched upon my face, and my steps were heavier than a stone mason's block. When my manor came into view, I felt an overwhelming sense of relief. Phew! Home at last! I panted breathlessly. I longed to collapse upon my cozy armchair and take a much-needed rest. Suddenly, I remembered my parents had mentioned they would be attending a jousting tournament that evening. What shall I do? I wondered as I reached the doorway of my manor. Just then, I noticed water trickling from beneath the door. I thought it to be a mirage and blinked hard to see more clearly. Fumbling with the iron locks, I uttered a quick prayer before turning the door handle. To my horror, I was met with a chamber flooded with water. The great hall was submerged up to my knees. I cried out in despair, nearly hysterical. More water was gushing from my parents' private bathroom. My legs, driven by panic, carried me swiftly to the source. Water was gushing from a pipe and flowing relentlessly. The water was overflowing the collecting cistern onto the floor. I retrieved the signaling horn from among the chaos and blew it to summon my parents. I don't know if they heard the blast from the horn. I paced up and down the flooded hall, unsure of my next move. Suddenly, an idea struck me like a bolt of lightning. Summoning every last bit of my strength, I began to salvage as many belongings as I could from the knee-deep water. The commotion attracted the attention of my neighbors, who hurried to my aid. I sent word for the village plumber. Meanwhile, we worked together to scoop bucket after bucket of water from the deluge. When my parents arrived, my mother nearly fainted at the dreadful sight, while my father stood motionless, as if turned to stone. Fortunately, the plumber soon arrived. But by that time, the water had flowed onto the courtyard. He turned off the main water supply to our manor, and the flow ceased instantly. We all applauded his quick thinking. In our haste, we had forgotten the simplest solution. The plumber then set to work, mending the broken pipe with skill. I collapsed onto my chair from sheer exhaustion. I could scarcely believe I had survived such a day. To this day, I have not forgotten a single detail of that fateful event.